Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today got something a little unusual. It's some action figures. Before I get into that, you may have noticed I've been AWOL for a little bit. As I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, I've been struggling a little to keep up with things because of my back injury, which makes it impossible for me to really lift or sort through any of my comics. Recently, I also injured my foot, and so as a result, that's really slowed me down a lot too. So that's why you haven't been seeing the videos. I've got a bunch of stuff that I am planning on doing when I can. I've got a whole backlog, a list of videos to make. I just haven't been able to get to this stuff to do it. I do have another video that we'll be seeing next week at least, which is one that I recorded a little while ago. I haven't even had a chance to edit it together because of all this stuff, but that's Magic the Gathering unboxing. But hopefully I'll get back on track soon. We're just gonna have to see how it goes. But for now, I've got something here. We went to a storage unit to search for some stuff, and unexpectedly came across a bunch of old Avengers action figures that I had from way back in the day. I used to have a great big Galactus action figure. These figures are from late 90s, early 2000s for the most part. They're about 25 years old. And I had this like foot tall Galactus. He could press a button and he had different recordings, he would say. He would press it and he'd go, "I hunger." But unfortunately, I don't know where that went. I used to have a setup where all my Avengers were facing Galactus because he was sort of to scale, about twice as big as any of the other figures. But I don't have that. What I have is a big sack full of Avengers action figures. So I'm going to pull them out. We're going to take a look and see the Avengers team. These figures don't really go together per se. They're from different sets. Some of the costumes from different time periods. But again, almost all of them are late 90s, very early 2000s. I do have one older one. So let's take a look. Okay, first up, the cape is a little rumpled here, but we've got the Vision. Now, got this. I don't really collect action figures, but I'm a big fan of the Vision. And back in the day, it wasn't so easy to get some of the characters you liked. This was part of a special short run. There was like from the Marvel Gold collection back in the 90s. I think they only made 10,000 of them. I ordered one online. Got a weird story behind this one. I ordered one online and then I realized that actually the company that was making and distributing them was just like a couple miles from my LCS. So when I went into my LCS, I stopped by, rather than wait for them to ship it to me, I stopped by and was like, "Hey, I ordered one of these. Can I just pick it up?" And they were like, "Sure." So they gave one to me. Then they ended up mailing in the other one to me anyway. So I ended up with two of them. The other one I think I still have somewhere still in the packaging. But this one I took out. Now you can see he's wearing not his classic costume, but this is a costume that he had in the early 90s. This is the Vision from the Gatherers costume. So it's the costume that Vision had after the White Vision era. This was his costume for a little bit before Onslaught. So big Vision fan. So I was happy to get that. Now you see that my action figure collection is it's a classic Avengers lineup. I'm not interested in any of these dopey, newfangled fake Avengers. So we also have coming out. These are quite dusty, actually. They've just been in this box for a long time. But here is Captain America. These are not exactly to scale. The Captain America is slightly bigger than the Vision. They're just made a slightly different scale, but they're close enough. Again, this is sort of a 90s Captain America figure. Don't know what the set was. He's got little prongs in his boots so you can put him on some kind of stand. But so we got our Captain America. We've got Vision. And here's Quicksilver. He's wearing this blue costume rather than the original green costume. So this is kind of his classic Quicksilver costume. Um, I only point that out again. Some of the costumes don't really fit together, but uh, as you'll see, I kind of have Cap's Kooky Quartet here, plus some other classic Avengers. Really, this is kind of a late era Roy Thomas lineup that I have here, which is kind of what I consider to be sort of the classic Avengers teams. So we've got our Quicksilver. Let's see. Some of the accoutrements are caught in this little mesh bag that they're in. So let me dig this out here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Here is the Scarlet Witch. Whoops. There's the Scarlet Witch. Classic Scarlet Witch costume. And by that I mean a little bit later. It's not her original costume. Her headdress was different. Originally, she had a thing that sort of like came under her chin and was more of a square top. But this is sort of the classic 70s Scarlet Witch look. And then, of course, we've got Hawkeye. Now, this is kind of like, again, a late 80s, early 90s version of his costume. It's not quite as classic. It still has some of the elements, but it's missing. It's just got this sort of generic padding sort of look as opposed to like the big H on his chest. I don't know why he's holding a knife. It's a little strange, but he does come with the bow. He comes with the quiver. So it's pretty good. It's in the right colors, but again, it's sort of this later 90s, mid 90s sort of costume. But there we have, so far, we've got Cap's Kooky Quartet plus Vision. But we've also got, my camera fell over. So we've got a couple different Iron Man figures. So I've got this 90s Iron Man. Classic colors and everything, but you can tell it's the 90s version because of the square doohickey in the middle of his chest for the unibeam, as opposed to the classic round one. The face is also slightly more stern. But this is the 90s Iron Man figure. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I think this is like a late 90s Iron Man, because with the square thing, I think that's actually post Hero's Return. But I do also have, and this is a little rundown, but this is my one vintage action figure. I've got this. This is the Secret Wars Iron Man figure. Now you can see that the unibeam has been worn down. It's also slightly smaller than the other Iron Man figure. So I've got a choice of classic Iron Man or 90s Iron Man to go with this. I did have a couple of these, including Iron Man, when I was a kid. I don't remember where I got this. I don't think this is the one that I had when I was a kid. But that's a pretty good Avengers lineup. I'm basically just missing Thor, and that would be sort of a really great Avengers lineup for me. Captain America, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Iron Man, Quicksilver, Thor would really round it out. And I also, I'm a fan of the Wasp and Hank Pym, two more classics. But this is really sort of the core team minus Thor. I do also have one more action figure that sort of goes with it. Actually goes with the team better than, like, in the MCU than in the Marvel universe. But I always used to keep him around with my Avengers action figures because it's Nick Fury. I just thought it was really cool that Nick Fury had an action figure. His hands are absolutely enormous on this action figure. He's got these great Kirby hands. So I always used to keep him with Nick Fury with my Avengers team as they face Galactus. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. These are just some fun old action figures that I had, again, 25 years ago. and they've just been in this little bag for the last 25 years in storage. Maybe now I'll find somewhere where I can set them up again. Not a huge action figure guy, but I do get the appeal. Obviously, when I was a kid, I had a lot of action figures, particularly Star Wars, G.I. Joe, Transformers. But as an Avengers fan, I had to put my little team together. So let me know what you think down below. I'll see you next time.